Hi, it's a lipstick gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I need to get ready for the day. I thought we could do it together. Today is kind of a special day for me. It's my 50th birthday today. I'm actually recording this the day before, but Monday the 20th is my birthday. And I couldn't be more excited that I'm 50. I love it. Okay, I'm just going to start first with a little bit of skin prep. I don't want to look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup today, so I'm going to put on this. This is the skin tint from Lisa Eldridge. It needs a good shake. And then I'm just going to put a couple of drops here on my palette and use my beauty blender to kind of blend it in. Well, I hope you're doing well. I'm really curious to know if you are of a similar age, what's the best part of it for you? Because I used to really dread getting older, but there's nothing better than being 50 and knowing exactly who I am and not caring what people think. I feel like that is one of the best things. I'm just going to apply this in certain places and we'll blend it in a minute. That's one of the things that I wish I had come to know about myself a little bit sooner in life was the who am I? What do I stand for? What sort of person do I want to be? Or what sort of person am I? And am I okay with that? And then not really caring what other people think. For the longest time, I was very much a people pleaser. I was very much a person who was concerned what others thought. And the older I get, the less it worries me. I'm going to throw on a little bit of the Dior Backstage Concealer. I want just a little bit of this here and here. I don't really feel like I figured out who I was until I was in my 30s, like early 30s. Before I started having kids, I started being okay with who I was. And I wish I had had that knowledge at a much earlier age. Like if I had known who I was and been okay with it as a teenager, how transformative would that have been? That would have been like the best thing ever. And I wouldn't have been so concerned, in high school and in college, with what people thought of me. That's one of those things that I think, really I'm trying to convey to my own children is that it's okay to be you, being completely unique and different is exactly what you want. And trying to fit in with everybody else, that's where you're losing the battle, and it takes you a long time later to kind of figure out who you are and to be okay with it. You'll just have a few more years of self-loathing, and that's not what I want for my kids. And I wish I'd had less of that when I was younger. But it's not something that we talked about. I was a teenager in the 90s and 80s and 90s, and we didn't talk about stuff like that. Lisa Eldridge concealer pencil. I'm gonna hit a couple of spots on my face. I feel like the skin tint already did a pretty good job of kind of like dwindling down this age spot for me. I'm just gonna give it just a little bit more coverage and a little shadow lifting right here. I know there's been a lot of talk online about this pencil, being one of those products that price per ounce is as much as gold. And I feel like I'm willing to pay the price for it because I'm not going to be using it everywhere. I'm not going to conceal my entire face with it. I feel like for me, it's just a little bit of the shadow lifting for my nasal labial folds, for underneath my eyes, and for my hyperpigmentation spot. I feel like that's where it's going to make the biggest difference for me. And all the rest of those small little, dark spots or flaws, I'm not going to worry about too much. I'm just going to be fine with it. I picked up something new. This is called the Curtain Call. This is a set and smooth powder from About Face. This is brand new. I picked it up on the Ulta website, and now I'm getting the lid all fingerprinted. It's not pretty in chrome anymore, but we'll not worry about that. Let me grab a brush really quick. Before I get going too far, I do want to set my under eyes. I am going to put on a little bit of cream contour, but what I want to do first is just set these guys so I don't have any creasing in through here. Oh, you know what I should be using for this? My little tiny Sonia G face brush. This, so many people were telling me, I got this in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it for you here. I'll put it in the description box as well. But they said it's like perfect for blush. It's perfect for finishing powders. And I know this isn't a finishing powder, but it looks really nice under the eye. Let's take a quick up close look. Oh, this is great because I feel like it does a pretty good job of setting, but I don't think it's making my eyes look any older. I don't mind looking 50. I don't want to look 150. Okay, that's my line. I don't want to look like the Crypt Keeper. I want to look like a person who is trying their best. And I feel like this definitely falls into that category of helping me try my best. Let me put a little bit here on my nose. Oh, already see that I got some settling in my forehead lines. And just a little bit up here. Ooh, it's very, very blurring. I've got this little shade in Biscuit from Westman Atelier. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of contour right in through here. A little bit up here. A little bit under the chin. I'm going to use the new Rougher LCO2 brush to blend this in. This is a really great, perfect size blush brush for cream products or contour or bronzer, and just kind of like, you know, tapping it in is super easy. Normally, once I start going over this hyperpigmentation spot, when I'm using a regular concealer, I find that it starts to break down a little bit if I'm using like the Dior Backstage or the Hourglass or any sort of liquid concealer. But this concealer pencil, this gel formula from Lisa Eldridge, it's pretty tenacious. You still, I mean, it's there, but it's not like, hello, which I really, really like. I've been so excited to try this. This just came in. This is the new Make Me Blush from YSL. This is the shade number 93, Restless Rose. Ooh. This is one of the kind of satin ones. You know what? Let's just use this. I'm gonna knock off all the powder off of this. Pick this up here. Ooh, I like this. It's kind of like a peachy sort of pink number. Okay. I don't want to get too much on. I'm going to share a little to the other side. I don't want to be accused of blush blindness at 50. I feel like that has been like just one of those things that has followed me because I was born in the 70s, kind of raised in the 80s and 90s. Going through the 80s, there's really no way to get away from that influence of the 80s makeup style. I remember, and my mom's favorite makeup item, for me it's lipstick. I think for my mom it's blush. She loves blush more than anything. And so my mom wore a lot of bold blush in the 80s. And with that being not just what I saw on television or in magazines, but also at home with my mom, I feel like I always could be accused of a little bit, maybe going too far with the blush situation, but that's okay. This is really pretty. Yeah, I like it. The packaging is super cute. It doesn't have like a clasp or anything. It's just a magnet. So it's fairly easy to open. But I was kind of looking for that clasp. This has a button to push that it opens it up. And other products, you know, you'll just have this little divot here where you stick your finger in there and you can pull it open. This is just completely flat. That's interesting to me. But I like it. And I feel like it's a really pretty color. All right, I'm going to put on a little bit of this new Clinique highlight. This is called the True Highlight Weightless Illuminator, and this is the lightest shade 01 Moonlit Pearl. Grab a little on a brush here. Woo! Wow. I forget that this is very, very glowy. The nice thing about my birthday being on Martin Luther King Day, every now and again it falls on that same day that we celebrate Martin Luther King Day, is that my kids have the day off of school, so I get to spend the whole day with my kids. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I need some eyebrows. Desperately need some eyebrows. My current favorite right now is this. This is the Mighty Fine Brow Pen from Benefit. It's the one that has like these 3 little prongs. I really have been liking it a lot. It makes kind of putting on my eyebrows really easy and fairly fast. Like, it doesn't really take very much. The one thing that it doesn't have that I still need is a spoolie, but you know, hey, I always have one handy. And then I just top it off with the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. It goes a little bit faster than some of the other pen-like products that I have, where I feel like I have to be really careful. The Maybelline 2-in-1 brow product, I think, is very similar in its approach, where the pigment isn't too like instantly, like it's not really inky or really dark or really wet. I feel like I'm getting just enough and not too much. There are times that if I'm pulling out the Brow Flick from Glossier or the brow pen from Anastasia or any of the other brow pens that I've tried, the Urban Decay, the Milani, like all of them, I felt like I pulled it out and it was so juicy at the tip that the minute I touched it down, it was just like way too much pigment. I don't feel that I'm getting that from this product, which I think just makes it so much easier to use. And because it has 3 prongs together, I don't feel like it gives me like an unrealistic look to the eyebrow. I feel like it does a pretty good job, and then I just kind of set them in place. I may have a couple of spots I need to fix here because this is my bald brow. Yeah, I'll have a couple spots to fix, but overall I think it does a really good job. So this little beauty came in my Beautylish Lucky Bag. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Dreams palette. This looks so lovely. I'm excited to try. I'm going to start with the darkest shade, which is really not that dark, and I really like that about it. And I'm just going to put it here in the crease. I like having a small quad like this because it just makes like the decision making on my part just so much easier. It's already decided for me. I'm going to take a combo of these 2 matte shades here, kind of like a dusty pink and this warmish brown, and just, ooh, I was going to say lightly hit the lower lash line, but I might have picked up too much. It's time to blend. I'm going to knock everything off of this brush here and just really focus on blending this out. I'm going to use this lightest shade in the inner corner. Hopefully it's not too deep. Oh, it's a little pinky. Maybe we'll do some of the highlight in the inner corner. But I'm going to put a little bit of this like right here in the inner portion of the lid. It's very sparkly. Wow. I'll use my finger for this pop shade and just put this over the rest of the eye. I'm also going to add just a little bit of that pop shade to my lower center lash line, just for a little bit of sparkle. I really like where this is ending up. I'm going to throw on some liner, the Victoria Beckham and Cinnamon, and a little bit of mascara, the Shapeshifter from M Cosmetics, and I'll be right back. Okay, I feel like I like where things got. I normally don't wear liner out to here, but I have been in love with this cinnamon liner from Victoria Beckham Beauty, and so I just have been piling it on. All right, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on my little birthday gift from Sephora. This is a little set from Makeup by Mario with one of the kind of gloss and stick form as well as a liner. So the liner is in mauve, and the lip glow is in the shade Rosewood. And now this. I forgot how soft these were. I think you have to be careful not to press too hard. If you get this birthday gift this year, it's really lovely, but just keep in mind this is a lip plumper, so there is going to be a little bit of stinging to the lips, but I really like the pencil and the glowy lipstick. I think it works pretty well together. Going back in for another hit of blush. I feel like I could use just a little bit more. This might be a little too pinky pink. I might do better with a little bit more of a toasty warm shade, but let's see. Just for funsies, let's put a little bit of the All Hours bronzer on from YSL over the top of this to kind of maybe bring a little bit more richness and warmth to it. I think I really like where this ended up. I feel like bringing in just a little bit of the YSL bronzer to kind of tone down the blush, because the blush is definitely a little bit more pink than peach. I think had it been a little bit more peach leaning, it might have done a little bit better with this eye, but I like everything I tried today. I feel like this is nice. If you were curious, let's just do a quick swatch of this. All right, so this is what it looks like. It definitely has more of a pink lean to it. There is some peachiness, but to me, it's definitely more of a pink blush, although it looks really peachy in the pan. That's what's interesting, but on my cheeks it was showing up a little bit more pink. So this is an interesting shade. This one here is called Restless Rose. I know there's only a limited number of shades on the Sephora website, but you can get even more options on the YSL website. I just happened to go through Sephora because I wanted to get my birthday gift for the year, and they had it up on the app like a day before it was available, and it came really quickly. But other things that I really like, this little quad that came in my Beautylish Lucky Bag was fantastic. Oh my goodness. This is such a great little brush. Also really like this powder. It's not the Performer. This is called the Curtain Call. This is great because I don't look like I'm wearing powder. Do you know how hard it is to find a powder that's over 50 friendly at the drugstore? Now, this is a little bit higher price wise than your average Maybelline Revlon CoverGirl powder. But to me, if I get good results from it, I don't have to be spending $50, $60 to get a beautiful lightweight powder. And I think that's what this is offering. And if you're curious, I'm wearing the shade Bow. Thank you so much for watching today. Here's where I want to know, what's the best part of getting older for you? And you don't have to be in the same age bracket that I'm in. You could be younger, you could be older, but let me know as you get older, as you grow wiser, what is the best part of that process for you? And for me, I still think it's the not worrying about what people say and really knowing myself. I don't feel like I'm kind of wondering, well, I don't know what I like. Like, I know what I like these days. I know what brings me joy, and I kind of don't care if people approve of it or like it or any of that anymore. And I'm just like, I don't care. And I think that's kind of the best part of getting older. Thank you so, so much for watching today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.